Oceans of the earth are boiling, and it's not a metaphor. As per the recent research, it is believed that in the year 2025, Earth's ocean have absorbed more heat than in its recorded history. So, what is the reason behind such a high temperature that we are seeing prevailing in the ocean? How is it going to affect the marine life, marine ecosystem, and how it is also going to play an important role in determining the intensity and frequency of disastrous weather phenomena, whether it is cyclones, tornadoes, or even superstorms. Let us try to understand this entire topic in more detail. So first of all, to give the context, as per the recent research that was published in the month of January 2026, it is believed that the oceans of the earth, we know that 70% of our earth's surface is covered by ocean water, they have absorbed about 23 joules of energy. Joule we know is a standard unit of energy, and joules will try to understand how much it means. This is highest ever absorption recorded since 1960s, and this particular observation has sent an alarm signal as far as the climate change and its effect is concerned. Now, if you look at the study and methodology, 50 plus global scientists, they have carried out a study, and comprehensively when data was gathered, study was published in a journal called as Advances in Atmospheric Sciences. Now, based on the study of this journal, it is believed that multi-instrument temperature data has been recorded, and the data was measured not only at the surface level but the entire temperature of the ocean up to first 2000 meters. The average depth of ocean we know we consider to be 6000 meters. So first 2000 meters, how temperature is varying, how absorption is going on was recorded here, and based on this entire heat content was calculated. I told you that as per this particular estimate, 23 joules of energy or heat was absorbed by the ocean. Now you compare with the recent year, in 2024 it was just 16 joules, and in year basically before that you have lesser amount of energy being absorbed. So when you talk about joule, basically 10 to power 21 1 joule is equal to 10 to power 21 joules as such. In simple way, we try to understand, many scientists try to say it is similar like 12 atom bombs that were exploded in Hiroshima. That much amount of energy was absorbed by the ocean in one single year. Now, the warming trend is accelerated. One thing that we cannot deny today is that global warming, rather than just a prediction, has become a reality with which we have to live. We have to face the consequences of it, no matter which part of the earth we are living in. We can say without any doubt that every human being who is currently living on the earth, and even the future generation who will come, they will face the burden of the global warming due to the consequences of the actions of the past generations. Now, if you try to understand it in a more, what you can call as a general perspective, 12 Hiroshima bombs equivalent amount of energy was absorbed by the ocean. It is similar to 2 billion Olympic pools being boiled. And to make it more clear, we know that whatever is our global electricity consumption, 200 times more than that, that is the amount of energy that ocean today contains. This is extreme extent of energy accumulation, which obviously is pointing out to something that is not right in our atmosphere, that is not right on the planet. This kind of energy accumulation, energy absorption, heat absorption by the ocean is of unprecedented in nature. We have never seen like this before in our entire recorded history. Now here we need to talk about the sea surface temperature, because this is one of the most important parameter, as it controls the intensity and frequency of various weather phenomena such as cyclones, storms, tornadoes, etc. So what we are seeing, that sea surface temperature continuously, if you compare in last 3 years, this is the third highest on the record as such. If you look at the average period temperature also between 1981 to 2010, the current temperature is at least 0.5 degrees Celsius above it. And it's not that entire ocean everywhere is warming. The warming trend is clearly seen in two major oceans. Basically, the southern part of the ocean, where you have Southern Ocean also, the southern part of Atlantic Ocean, and the North Pacific region. That means if you look here in this particular map, Southern Ocean is around the Antarctica. So this region, then you have South Atlantic, that is between Africa and South America, and then you have the North Pacific, that is somewhere between, we can say, Eurasia, that is Russia, and United States, Canada on the other side. So out of all the major water bodies that you have in the earth, these are the three areas where temperature rising trend is more clearly observed and established. Now it is believed that the major contributor to this heat being absorbed by the ocean is nothing but the emission of greenhouse gases. And here we have a clear relation. Scientists have said that whatever greenhouse gases we are emitting in the atmosphere, 90% of the heat which they trap, that is again transferred back to the ocean. And that makes sense because again in the beginning I told you that 70% of Earth's surface is covered by water and the surface of ocean is continuously interacting with the atmosphere. That means it is logical, if atmosphere heats up, ocean will get this heat as well. So this excess heat, 90% of excess heat being absorbed by GHGs are being transferred to ocean. That is the primary factor behind the rise of temperature. Now we know the greenhouse gases are being emitted due to various processes which we are participating in, whether it is the emission through the vehicle, emission through the industries, and also we have to understand that this has contributed to a long-term ocean warming. And because of this, the role of ocean as a heat sink has quite become lesser or has reduced as such. And thus ocean, which used to play a role of climate buffer, now it seems that the role which it used to play, it gradually shrinking as far as its effect is concerned. So if you look at briefly what can be the impact of this rising temperature in the ocean, first is stratification in the ocean will increase. If we try to understand, we know that temperature of the ocean continuously decreases as you go down, and that is why the layer of the water in the ocean is stratified, basically divided into multiple layers. The uppermost layer is lighter, warmer with low salinity, while as you go down, the layer of the water become colder, denser, and also has a relatively higher salinity. So generally in the case when the temperature of ocean is not extreme, the surface temperature is not extreme, you have the proper mixing that occurs between these layers of the water. But in the case extensive heating occurs, extreme heating occurs in the surface of ocean, those layers will always remain warm enough and will keep floating above the colder, denser layer. So reduced vertical mixing, and it is believed that due to this reduced vertical mixing, the ability of ability of the ocean actually to absorb carbon dioxide will also reduce as such, because earlier the water when it used to mix, it used to transport carbon dioxide from the upper layer to the lower layer, but that would not take place anymore. At the same time, oxygen circulation will also get disrupted. We know that in the ocean you have various different types of marine animals, microorganisms which require oxygen, and ocean absorb oxygen from atmosphere, and through vertical mixing it used to distribute it throughout the entire deeper part of the ocean. So also oxygen circulation will also get disrupted, and because oxygen will get disrupted, and also the upwelling and downwelling that we see in the ocean will also get disrupted, that will obviously have impact on the transportation of nutrient, that would lead to decline in the diversity as well as number of marine life. Fishes population obviously is going to decline as such. Apart from that, if you look at the risk to the marine ecosystem, one major risk you will face due to phytoplankton. Phytoplanktons are primary food of many of the marine species such as small fishes, crabs, and other smaller species. So if the amount of phytoplankton reduces due to the lack of oxygen, what we will see is the disruption in not only few organisms but entire marine food web will get disrupted. Zooplanktons will be impacted. Zooplanktons are food for the fishes, so that would mean that fishes population will also decline, and the small fishes are food for the large fishes and larger marine organisms. That means their food availability will also reduce. That means we can say the entire ecosystem, marine ecosystem, stands at a risk of collapsing if we do not take urgent measures in this regard. Now, if you look at the extreme events and the impact on humans, I told you that if you talk about the marine heat wave, first of all, we know that marine heat wave basically refer to a situation where the temperature in a particular part of the ocean is 3 to 4 degrees Celsius higher than the average temperature in last couple of days as such. Now, when marine heat wave like situation increases, that means the sea surface temperature is higher than normal. Corals, which are considered as one of the most important ecosystem of the ocean, because just they cover about 1% of ocean area but support more than 40% of marine species, obviously we will see that corals start to bleach. Bleach means we can say it is one stage before the death. If bleaching continues for long duration, coral dies. If coral dies, entire coral reef ecosystem collapses, and that would be disastrous for marine life. Every year, $375 billion worth of goods and services is provided to the humans by coral loan. That entire economic and financial value will be at risk if ocean keeps on warming at the given rate. At the same time, because cyclones are getting moisture, water vapor from the ocean itself, higher the temperature in the ocean, higher will be the rate of evaporation, higher the rate of evaporation, more will be the water vapor in the atmosphere, and thus the intensity and frequency of cyclones in the tropical areas would also be more. That means the damage, destruction these weather phenomena cause will also increase. Thus, everyone is going to be impacted here. Now, cyclones are responsible for rainfall also. We know that in majority of the tropical countries, even in temperate areas, cyclones are the harbinger of rain. So they are going to cause heavier than normal rainfall. That would also affect India, as the monsoon pattern of rainfall will completely, we can say, get impacted, and thus because of this, in the coastal areas specifically, we'll see increased instances of flooding as such. So overall, again, to sum up, we can say warming of ocean is a warning sign that something is not right on the earth, and the culprit is none other but the humans themselves. If we do not mend our ways, we are looking at a cataclysmic event unfolding in the near future. That's all for this particular video. If you like the video, please hit the like button, share it with fellow aspirants, as well as subscribe to our channel for more such content. Thank you very much.